Kyler Murray is a bounce back candidate. Let's talk some projections. So this is a series we're starting today, and we're going to continue this for as long as it takes until we get through all 32 NFL teams. We're going to talk about every team's quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers. We're basically going to cover every single fantasy relevant player over the next, it might be 2 months. We're going to start right here though, the Arizona Cardinals and Kyler Murray. So I made my projections for this team. I am working on my projections for the rest of the teams. It's going to take some time though to roll these out, but you can check out the video down in the description below on how I kind of go about making these projections. So Kyler Murray, the quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals last season, coming back from the torn ACL, didn't play the full year, but when he did play, he was pretty good, as good as I think you could really expect a guy to be coming off of that injury. Where do I kind of see him landing this year? Well, I kind of see him going back to what he was before the injury. Now he's got a full year from the torn ACL. We've seen this kind of with running backs that it takes a year to get back from a rushing standpoint. And let's start there with the rushing. I've got Kyler Murray kind of going back to it a little bit here. So I looked at his 3-year averages. I kind of weighed the previous 2 years over last year quite a bit when it came to what I think his rushing would look like. So I put him at about 5.8 yards per carry. I ended up with 6 carries per game and a 5% rushing touchdown rate, which gave him 5 rushing touchdowns, 591 rushing yards on the season as well. So really nice rushing production there. That's going to be among the higher guys on any given season. And then from a passing standpoint, I ended up giving Kyler Murray 4,046 yards, 22 passing touchdowns, 11 interceptions on the season. And that comes together from looking at the rate stats, right? So again, in that video where I kind of broke down how to go through my projections, I look at a lot of 3-year averages. I look at a lot of the past production and kind of weigh the most repeatable out of those, right? So for example, with Kyler Murray, I didn't weigh last year quite as heavily because last year coming back from the torn ACL. So I bumped up his pass attempts per game a little bit from last year. I increased his yard per attempt a little bit, thinking that as he comes back from this injury, he'll be back to what he was a little bit before the injury. And also he has a superstar wide receiver now, so that's also going to help those numbers out quite a bit as well. So in the formulas then, those are the totals that it spat out. In my rankings, which these are not rankings based on the projections necessarily, I will have those when all the projections get done. I'll compile the rankings based on projections. But in my rankings, I'm right now quarterback 9. Across the industry, that's basically where he is at. Fantasy Pros has him at 9, ESPN 9, and CBS at 8 in their rankings. So pretty much right there with consensus for Kyler Murray for me. But I'm pretty excited about his upside though. I think Kyler Murray, this is the guy who we have seen finish season as quarterback 3, quarterback 6. That's totally in the realm of possibility this year. He's got a guy in Marvin Harrison Jr. But I think a lot of us have really high hopes for him in year 1. Again, the rushing touchdowns can come be a play for him as well. Kyler Murray, one thing that was kind of interesting when I put him together, his passing touchdown rate is actually pretty low. And that's largely because of a lot of touchdowns from himself on the ground, as well as from James Conner to the ground as well. So Kyler Murray, I'm kind of excited for him. I think he's a bit of a bounce back candidate. What does that mean for his pass catchers though? What does that mean for a Trey McBride breakout? What does that mean for Marvin Harrison Jr.? And is there anybody else we're interested at all? You can check that out right now as well.